Hello student, myself Digant Sakhiwala. I am your science sir. We will continue chapter number 6, life process. Dear student, last time we learned about the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now we are going to learn about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, autotrophic mode of nutrition, in that the organism prepare the food for themselves, means they can prepare the food for themselves. That is called the autotrophic mode of nutrition. In that chlorophyll is present, and in the presence of sunlight, carbon dioxide, water react and they make the glucose. Okay, so from the inorganic compound we get the organic compound. So today we are going to learn about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition, in that for the nutrition, organism depend on the other plant or animal. Okay, they are also classified into a different category that we will learn, and afterwards we will learn about the amoeba and the paramecium. So we will start heterotrophic nutrition. In this mode of nutrition, organisms generally take up energy from the plant and animals by using them as a food. They are the three types: holozoic, parasitic and saprophytic. Dear student, here three categories are there. One is what? Holozoic, like human, amoeba. Parasitic means either inside of the body or outside of the body. Example is the ticks, or we can say that cascata. Or another category is we have saprophytic mode of nutrition, which depend on the dead and decaying bodies. Okay, so heterotrophic nutrition is classified into three categories: holozoic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition and parasitic mode of nutrition. Okay, first we will see about the holozoic nutrition. Animal intake solid food and breakdown inside the body, that is called the holozoic mode of nutrition. Amoeba and humans, they are example of that. So generally amoeba and human and some other organisms are also there. They take the food. Okay, they take the food. After that, what happened? Digestion process is started, nutrients are separated, and at last the excretory material is thrown out of the body. That is called the, we can say that, holozoic mode of nutrition. Amoeba and humans are the example of that. Okay, saprophytic mode of nutrition. Organism depend on the dead and decaying matter. That is called the saprophytic mode of nutrition. In that, fungi are there. When we put the bread outside for the long time, automatically fungi is produced, and that is the example of what? A saprophytic mode of nutrition. Okay, here the organism depend on the dead and decaying body. Parasitic mode of nutrition. There are two types: endoparasite and ectoparasite. If the organism depend inside of the body, then it is called endoparasite, and if it depend upon the outside of the body, then that is called the ectoparasites. Okay, dear student, parasitic mode of nutrition, in that parasite lives inside or outside other organism, okay, and derive the nutrition directly from it. That is called the parasitic mode of nutrition, and example is cascata and ticks. Dear student, we will learn about the nutrition in amoeba and paramecium. Amoeba and paramecium are the example of unicellular organism, means they have only one cell is present. Okay, nutrition in organism. In unicellular organism, food is taken up through the entire body surface. Example, amoeba and paramecium. Okay, so unicellular means one cell is present, and then they take up the food by what? Entire surface of the body cell. Okay, first is the amoeba. Okay, the nutrition in amoeba is also called the phagocytosis. Here amoeba initially prepare the artificial leg-like structure to capture the food. That artificial structure of leg, that is called what? Pseudopodia, artificial leg. Okay, it take the food by the pseudopodia of the cell that fuse over the food particle, forming a food vacuole. So it capture it, and then after what happen? The food vacuole is produced, and because of that, after that the diffusion is started, digestion process is started, and after last time what happened? The excretory material is thrown out of the body by the diffusion. In the food vacuole, digestive enzyme break and digest the food, which is then absorbed. Soluble part of the digested food diffuse into the cytoplasm and is utilized by the cell to release the energy. So whatever the digested food are there, that is diffused in the different part of the cell, and it is utilized as the energy. Okay, undigested food is moved to the surface of the cell and is thrown out from the any point of the membrane. So what is undigested part are there, excretory part are there, by the diffusion they are going outside of the cell. Dear student, we are going to learn about the paramecium. Paramecium has not the tendency to make the pseudopodia, but it has a cilia-like structure for the locomotion, and it captures the food by also cilia. Okay, It takes the food in the specific spot on the body with the help of cilia present all over its body surface. So it takes the food by the cilia, okay, and it is present all over part of the body surface, okay, and afterwards what happens, same way diffusion is started, excretion is started, and all processes are over. So this is all about the nutrition in amoeba and para. Hello student, we are going to learn nutrition in the human being. It is started from mouth to the esophagus to the small intestine, large intestine, and at last it will, the excretory material is thrown out by the anus. Okay, so we will start one by one. Mouth. So whatever the digestion process is started or nutrition process is started, that is from the mouth. Okay, mouth, in the teeth are there, saliva are there, and the tongue is present, that play also major role. Salivary glands. Inside of the tongue there is a salivary gland is present which contain amylase enzyme, okay, amylase enzyme, and which it has the property to digest starch. It convert the starch into the sugar. Sugar means here what? Simple carbohydrate, okay. Saliva is secreted by salivary gland located under the tongue which contain digestive enzyme, that is called salivary and amylase, which break down the starch into sugar. So digestion of carbohydrates starts in the mouth itself. So it is started from the mouth itself. Now what reaction is going on? Starch, whatever we prepare the food, that food is in the form of starch. Okay, long chain of glucose, fructose, and long chain of the saccharides are there. Sugar, carbohydrate, saccharide, they are somewhat synonyms. Okay, so starch when mixed with the saliva, salivary amylase at pH 6.8, it convert into maltose. Maltose is also one type of carbohydrate or sugar, we can say. Tongue helps in the chewing, moistening, rolling, swallowing of the food. So whatever food we eat, that is easily mixed in the saliva because of the tongue, as well as what happen, it moistening or rolling or swallowing, that all occur because of the tongue. Okay, after mouth the food is entered into the esophagus, that is called food pipe. Okay, and the movement is called peristalsis movement. The food from mouth then goes down the esophagus to the stomach through a rhythmic movement of walls of esophagus, that is called peristalsis. Okay, stomach, a J-shaped organ which mixes the food with the various digestive juices. Inner lining of stomach secretes, so different juices are added, as well as hydrochloric acid is added in the food in the stomach. Mucus, it protects the lining of stomach from the being corroded by hydrochloric acid. So in the stomach, strong hydrochloric acid is present to digest the food. Okay, so mucus is present for inner lining, and it protects the inner part of the stomach. Hydrochloric acid, it creates an acidic medium for the action of enzyme and dissolves bit of food. So for the action of enzyme we need acidic medium, that is produced by hydrochloric acid, as well as it dissolves the bits of food. So food is easily dissolved because of the acidic medium. Dear student, you already know what is called enzyme. Enzyme means what? Biocatalyst. Okay, now catalysis means what? Catalyst means the substance which will not take part in the reaction but increase the or decrease the rate of reaction, that is called catalyst. Digestive juices, pepsin, it breaks down the protein into the simple substance. The food from the stomach eventually moves into the intestine. Okay, pepsin main function is to what? Break down the protein. Now protein is the long chain of amino acid. Okay, so it break down by the protein, and then after it is going to the intestine. Pepsin, in the presence of hydrochloric acid pH 3.5, it convert into peptones. Digestion in the small intestine, it is the longest part, about 7.5 meter. Remember the length is how much? 7.5 meter. It is the longest part, about 7.5 meter of alimentary canal. In that, complete digestion of carbohydrate, protein, fat take place. So here in this place what happened? Totally completely carbohydrate, fat and protein is digested. It get intestinal juices from the different glands, liver, pancreas, that help in the further digestion. So many other things are also added because of what? Glands, different glands from liver and pancreas. Dear student, we are going to learn about the liver, pancreas and villi. Okay, Liver, it contains largest gland of the body and secrete the bile juices. Bile juices is stored in the gallbladder and has a significant role in digestion of fat. So mainly liver is useful to digest the fat by the use of bile juices. Pancreas. Pancreas has an enzyme that help in the complete digestion of all food components. So pancreas is very important to digest all food components like carbohydrate, protein and fat. The digestive tract associated glands together constitute the digestive system. So many glands are associated to fulfill the digestive system. Wall of the small intestine contain glands which secrete the intestinal juices that complete the process of digestion. Okay, so small intestine contain the glands that secrete the intestinal juice which are very useful to digest the food. So initially we take starch that we here use as a carbohydrate. Pancreatic amylase, that is amylase is here enzyme, it converts simple sugar. So here what we are getting starch to, we get the maltose. And now maltose in the presence of maltase enzyme, it convert into glucose plus glucose. Sucrose, what we are eating sugar, that sugar is called the sucrose. In the presence of sucrase, it convert into glucose plus fructose. Lactose, in the presence of enzyme lactase, convert into glucose plus galactose. Protein is a long chain of amino acids, so in the presence of enzyme pepsin, it convert into the amino acid. Lipid, in the presence of lipase catalyst or enzyme, it gives the fatty acid plus glycerol. So final product of carbohydrate to glucose, proteins to amino acid and fat to fatty acid plus glycerol. Villi. Finger-like projection of the inner wall of small intestine which increase the area of absorption of food, that is called villi. Okay, so finger-like projection of inner wall of small intestine which increase the surface area, that is called villi. These are richly supplied with the blood vessels. So they are richly supplied with the blood vessels. So whatever nutrients and other components are separated by the digestion, they are going in the blood. The small intestine of the herbivorous is longer. Okay, herbivorous animals are there. Their small intestine is longer than the carnivorous because herbivorous eat the cellulose. Okay, they eat the starch and cellulose and that all. It take more time to digest. Whereas carnivorous animal, their small intestine is smaller compared to the herbivorous. Large intestine, it helps in the absorption of water. Okay, so large intestine function, it helps in the absorption of water. So this is all about the nutrition in the human being. Thank you so much.